Hi, yogis. Hi, friends. Hi, Kamir. Welcome to our practice. Welcome to your practice. Welcome to the last practice on this Zoom platform. I'm sure most of you have gotten my emails and messages. I'm going to be starting in next week on Tuesday on a new platform called Vivaya. And everything's going to be in one place now, all my offerings. I hope it will be easy for everybody to continue practicing. And I also realized that I think we've done 40 of these Sunday afternoon practices since this whole pandemic began. So good for us for keeping it together and continuing with the practice. So moving to another platform, but same group, same times, should be easy. Okay, yogis, let's have an amazing practice today. See if you can start off first with envisioning all of us practicing around the world. Close your eyes for a moment. Maybe you see an actual face. Maybe it's just somebody you've seen for a moment at the end of our meetings when we chat. Maybe it's just the vibration and the energy from a like-minded person. These days when we're apart, difficult to hold on to our bonds and our connections, we do it through this virtual practice. What an honor and pleasure to be part of this group, this Sangha. Feel yourself connected to the earth, maybe through your sit bones, maybe you're in Virasana, so your shins. Perhaps you're sitting in a chair, wherever you are, some sort of grounding, a sense of purpose and place and attachment. Back to this familiar spot again, back to our practice. Something calls us back again and again. We find our balance, our calming, our equilibrium, our homeostasis. Feel the weight of your legs releasing towards the earth. Maybe that apanavayu, the sense of the grounding winds, the roots. Feel the pelvis slightly tilted forward, inspiring the arch in our low back, putting the curves where we want them to be. Maybe binding in that low rib ring, the segment that's somewhat mobile or sometimes unstable, holding this rib ring containment and then bringing the heart tall from the opening of the upper back rather than flaring the bottom of the cage. Take your hands back behind you, yogis, open up. Maybe some sensations into your arms. Move the fingers, flexing and extending, spread them. Turn the thumbs backwards. Find the external rotation in your shoulder. The ball rolling back in the socket, the ideal position in this position. Turn them back in. That's internal rotation. Feel how you want to fall forward with it. See if you can prevent that. Just have it move from the ball and socket. Nice. Turn them back again. Externally rotating the shoulders. And then let the elbows release towards the hips. The palms are up for receptivity or down for some grounding. Perhaps we can slide the elbows back a little bit more. Feel the broadening, collarbones, chest. And now the head now slides back into its bobble-headed place. Be difficult now to translate it forward because the rest of the spine is aligned. As we root deeper, we rise taller, right through the crown of the head. Maybe let's use that garden hose image today, the energy tube like a garden hose lying right in front of the spine. When we inhale, garden hose plumps up. When you exhale, releases. We fill ourselves up. We empty out. See if you can find the rhythm to your own breath today. I recommend inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth through pursed lips. Find what feels right for you. We know inhaling through the nose will warm and hydrate and purify our welcome air, our welcome oxygen, our prana, our life force. Invite it in with sweetness, with kindness. Bring in all the goodies. And as you exhale through your pursed lips, you hear and feel the exhaust as it leaves your body. In that exhaust, all the junk, all the physiological mental debris we no longer need or want. All the thoughts and crazy monkey mind, letting some of that go. Barrage these days with so much information. This is our respite. This is our time to let that all go. It's our breath that steers the ship. Let's sit as we always do for a minute or so. Find your own breath and see if you might be able to unite our breath. Before you open your eyes, take your thumbs, cross them and lightly place them over the heart center. Feel as you touch the chest here, the calming, soothing, relaxing, softening. Feel your heartbeat inside your chest. Feel the warmth in the outside of the chest and the palms, maybe the green light emanating from that heart chakra. Stop for a moment here and feel your humanness. Feel our connection. Blink the eyes open, look at the front of your mat, and bring the gaze back up. Helium hands go up to the sky. Rise up, fingertips, up they go. Deeper roots, taller branches. Envision maybe a tree growing the new branches, right? The new appendages lengthening. Feeling the ribs start to get the message to soften. Pull those low ribs in. Look up at your thumbs. Take the thumbs back behind you. We open up our upper back. Fit the head back between the elbows, touch the palms together, interlace fingers, index to the sky. So a laser sharp beam out those index fingers through the ceiling and roof, to the sky, through the clouds, out into infinity. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel that amazing grounding feeling in the infinity rise. Press your palms together. Inhale, and on your exhale, slowly lower down through main central. We stop at our third eye. Tip of the nose, lips, throat. Come to rest on your big hearts. Thumbs to the heart, heart rises. See if you can maybe push your hands together a bit more. Palms touch, and the elbows release towards the earth. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, spin the hands to the earth, and let's release our neck. Right hand will hold the earth, your anchor. Left ear softens into the left shoulder. Nice and easy. Feeling in your body, everybody's going to feel different. Maybe it's the muscle on the right side of the upper trap. Maybe it's your spine that's a little stiff. Maybe some infiltration into the chest. Where is it for you? Soften in. And take the right hand and turn it back. So the thumb will roll backwards. We'll open up the external rotation of the shoulder. Bring the hand back to neutral. Inhale the head back up, and on the exhale, real easy to the other side. The awareness of the lengthening first, right? Finding the length to the spine and letting the right ear soften in. Left hand holds the ground, that's your anchor. And from that, you'll get a nice pull and softening. Turn the left hand now so the palm faces forward, thumb rolls back, floss the nerves. Start to move the fluid through that upper quadrant here that's usually so restricted and congested from all our sitting and computering. Nice, yogis, bring it back to center. Inhale, and on the exhale, look over the left shoulder. Do your little ride around so the chin nods up and down. We clear the pathway. Come to your spot where the restrictions are. Stop the chin and then see if you can rotate a little bit farther around. Beautiful. Inhale back through center. Exhale. Chin nods around to the right. Investigate your end range and continue. Rotate. Beautiful. Inhale back through center. Exhale around to the left. That feeling of it's already cleaned out a bit. Inhale, and on the exhale, right hand holds. Bring the chin out towards or to that left shoulder point, and then see if you can release it down to touch. Inhale back through center. Exhale around to the right, chin on horizon. Feel the ease and movement. Inhale, exhale, take the chin out towards or to right shoulder point, and then release it down. Inhale back through center. Exhale, release the chin to the jugular notch between the two collarbones. We find all the movement in our neck. We'll trace the chin on the collarbone now. Inhale, exhale, chin traces right collarbone. Keep it on the collarbone as long as you can. And trace around to that same spot we were just at a moment ago. Beautiful, yogis. Inhale back through center. Exhale around left, chin on collarbone. Maybe some cracks and snaps as we start to open our spines. Beautiful. Inhale it back through center. On the exhale, we reaffirm the press of our sit bones and fingertips. Pull the low ribs in, bring the heart nice and tall. Lift the crown of the head to the sky. Inhale again. On the exhale, push your heart forward. Feel the opening of that upper back. We still have containment of these low ribs. Heart opens. Lift the crown of the head tall to the sky, and then slowly from as many vertebrae as possible, find that extension arc. No dizziness allowed, no pain in the spine allowed. Go for the stretch from your chin to your collarbones, and that beautiful extension through the whole upper back. Beautiful. Inhale, back to center, and exhale. Go ahead and take your legs out in front of you now, provided there's not a dog in the way. And go ahead and, come here, you're going to have to move, boy. Thank you. Big toes touch. Sit up nice and tall, right? So we've got the arch in the low back. Be sure that you're holding on to the arch in the low back. Press the thighs into the ground, and then bring your arms nice and tall. Take them up real tall. So same idea here, fingertips to the sky, sit bones into the earth. See if you can rock forward a little bit from the flexion in the hips, not rounding the spine, but a little bit deeper in the hip crease. So not that much movement. Good. Take your hands, put them back behind you, either on your palms or fingertips, and let those toes turn out. External rotation of our hips. Bring it back in. Big toes will touch. Take the heels apart a little bit so we have to internally spiral the legs and then externally rotate. Let's do that a few times. So each time you do it, take your feet apart a little bit more and see if you can find a little bit more internal rotation. So externally rotate, slide them out, and internally rotate. So good for our hips to find this distinct movement. Good. Side to side, internally and externally rotating. Beautiful. Bring your legs back up now, yogis. Whatever leg you had on top the first round, do the opposite. Hopefully that feels okay for you. Take your arms up, cactus arms, familiar to us. Widespread fingers. Open and close your hands. See if you can find that energy, warmth, movement with the fingers. Good. Stop the fingers now. Bring the wrists down and up and back. Just wrists. So first fingers and then wrists. Good. Shine those. Take the thumbs back. Now roll back from the shoulders. Thumbs roll back. Shine the palms forward. Hands go down. All internal, external rotation from the shoulders. A little bit of rotation there at the forearms. Finding all those separate movements. Nice. Inhale and back up. On the exhale, we know what happens. They come together. Palms touch, elbows touch. Turn your hands to face you. Inhale. On the exhale, press the sides of the hands and elbows together and start to rise up. See how long you can keep your elbows together, some strengthening on the way up, and then let them free up, come apart, and elbows release down into the side pockets. Go ahead and do that 2 more times. Inhaling on the way up, and exhaling on the way down. Inhaling on the way up. Exhaling on the way down. You got it. Elbows at the side. Turn your palms up and down. Light bulb hands. Pronating, supinating the forearms again. Enlivening our arms. Up and in the queen wave. Elbows more towards the front than way out. Arms come up now for your hallelujah arms. They float back down. Queen wave. Light bulbs. Go ahead and shake them out. Fly your arms up. We all know this. Fingers way out to the sides of the room. Take the shoulders up by the ears. That's upper traps. We don't need any strengthening of that. Lower those. Find the rotator cuff and deltoids doing the work as you start to flap your arms. Let's take them forward. So we're not leaning forward, just the arms. Thumbs touch. They come back and see if you can go into back body a little bit. Nice. Flop them forward and back. Take flight. Pterodactyls. Light, easy, breezy arms, right? So they're not tense, they're nice and easy. We know what's going to happen to our pterodactyls. They're going to turn into our favorite eagles, right on top, left on bottom, or side by side. See if you can marry fingers to palm or backs of the hands. Customize as need be. Elbows up, tricep flesh parallel to the floor. Let's find the distinct motions now in our shoulder blade movements. Inhale. Exhale, take the right elbow into the left. Draw the blades forward, protraction. Shoulder blades sliding on the ribs. Inhale back to center. On the exhale, pinch the pencil between the shoulder blades. Retract the shoulder blades. Feel that movement. Inhale them to neutral, and on the exhale, take the arms around to the right. They'll stay on that horizon line. We'll get a beautiful stretch of the left shoulder, posterior, deltoid, our rotator cuff. And go ahead and turn your gaze. Now look over the right shoulder. See how free the neck has become. Inhale back to center everything, and on the exhale, just the elbows. Turn them. Elbows turn. Opposite side stretches. Left side mobilizes. Turn your gaze, yogis. Look over the left shoulder. Inhale it all back to center. And on the exhale, release the elbows down. Shoulder blades will elevate. All in the blades first, and then add the spine to it. Start to round that upper back. Start to release the
crown of the head and fingertips towards the ground. Roll through the spine and see if maybe you can get your fingers of the right hand to touch the ground. Inhale back up. Exhale, pull the low ribs in and take the elbows up. The other motion for the shoulder blades now, depression. Working through all these different movements. Come up through the space behind your heart. Find that extension. We've already done it. Take the elbows up. Let the head release back. Nice and easy. Find that extension to the spine as we offer the elbows and heart to the sky. That's beautiful, yogis. Bring it back to center on the inhale. And on the exhale, release the arms down and fly them up opposite. Left on top, right on bottom. Find a press of fingers to palm or backs of hands towards each other. Tricep flesh parallel to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, take left into right, draw them forward. Protract those blades. Find that movement. Maybe it's not so much in your own body right now. That's what we're looking for. Try to find some new movements. Inhale it back to center. Exhale, pull them back. As we pull the shoulder blades back, we'll extend through the spine. Maybe get a snap or two out of that. Inhale back to center. Exhale, right hand turn, please, with the arms. Take them around. Feel the back, shoulder stretch, and then turn your gaze. Look over the right shoulder. And inhale it all back to center. Arms to the left. Turn the gaze, look over the left shoulder. Inhale it all back to center. Release the elbows down. Feel the elevation of the shoulder girdle, the blades. Elbows start to tuck, start the rounding of the spine. Let the head release last. Maybe the fingers, left hand will touch the earth. Inhale back up again. Exhale, pull the low ribs in, take the elbows up. Start to let the head release back. Find your end range. Beautiful. Inhale the arms back. Exhale, release them. Down they go. Beautiful. Let's do a side bend. Maybe a block to the right and to the left. You might need it. Walk your hands out to the right, please. Right hand out. And take the left hand and see if you can hold your thigh down. All right. Start to bend the right elbow. So without the awareness of holding the left thigh down, pops right up. Idea here is that the right elbow is going to release down and, oh my goodness, we find the length to that left waistline. Quadratus lumborum, one of the muscles. Press the hand and elbow into the ground or into a prop and find that when you press that into the ground, we find stability. Left hand is holding that thigh down. See if you can grow your spine a little longer. Yes. Thumb into the armpit, do the same thing, grow it longer. Both the left and right side of the waist are lengthening. See if you can roll your heart to the sky now. We know we roll from the ribs up and maybe look up. Inhale the left hand up, grab the cloud off the sky and take it across. See if you can find that very long left side body, right? Let the left sit bone come up for a moment. Hold the hand where it is and put the left sit bone back down. Yeah, there's another way in. See if you can find that release. Maybe the right ear will release towards the right shoulder. Inhale yourself up with your core, as little of the right hand as necessary, and switch to the other side. So left hand will go down. Right hand will hold the thigh. Bend the left elbow, start to release it to the ground. Discover this side might be very different or very similar to the other. Left elbow down, hand down onto some sort of prop. Right hand will hold the thigh down, grow the waistline. Thumb into the armpit. Lengthen the rib cage. Roll the heart up towards the sky. Look up. Inhale the right hand straight up. Exhale, take it across. Reach way over. See if you can find that length. Let's do the same thing on this side. Let the right sit bone come up. Reach the hand out a little bit. Hold the hand where it is and then put the sit bone back down again and feel that sensation on the right side of your waist. Let the left ear soften into the left shoulder. Inhale yourself back up, Yogi's tall sit position. Let's move into Virasana for a moment. You guys know how to modify or customize your Virasana, of course. As we sit back, this might not be so agreeable for everybody. If it's too much, if your ankles look something like this, right, slide a prop underneath. If you feel it in your knee joints, put a blanket under behind the knee there. And if it's just so much, then sit up on a prop, whether it's a bolster or some blocks. Find a moment of peace here, if possible, in your Virasana pose. And if Virasana doesn't work for you, find something that does. Pull the low ribs in, keep the heart tall. Take your hands, thumbs, right onto the lowest part of the ribs. Press your palms together. Push the palms forward now with a press, right? So there's a press forward. Come through the shoulder blades. We just did it. Protract them. Retract them all the way back. Protract them forward. Retract them back. Continue pressing the palms as you do it. Good. This time, bring them in so they touch the low ribs again. Roll the thumbs in and do your Egyptian dancer as the arms come up. Keep the press of the hands. It's a strengthening on the way up and down. Mobilizing the wrists. Nice, yogis. Bring those thumbs right to our rib cage and then take it forward again. Protract, retract. Bring them in. Take them out. Take the right over the left. Interlace the fingers and bring the hands through the hole in the arms. Touch the elbows. Forward again, protract, retract, bring them through, touch the elbows. So beautiful. Take them out again and then switch. Left goes over right. Protract, retract, bring the hands through, touch the elbows. Protract, retract, bring the hands through, touch the elbows. Take your thumbs under the back of the skull. Dig your thumbs into that line behind the skull there where the skull meets the neck. It's craniosacral release points. Have your thumbs drag down to the mastoid bones below the ears. Do that a few times as if you're on a massage table and a beautiful pair of hands working down that occipital line. One more time, sending us into a calm state. Nice. Take your index fingers, put them on the third eye between the eyebrows, and drag the index fingers through the eyebrows. More relaxation points. They come to rest on the temples. Do your clockwise and counterclockwise movement with your index. One more time, same thing. Start at the third eye. Come right through the eyebrows. And rest on the temples for a moment. Clockwise and counterclockwise. Take your thumb and index to your ear and do a little pull and pinch as you walk them down towards the earlobes and then back up again. Come down to the earlobes, give a tug. Take your hands on the outside of the ear there and pull the ears away from the face. Work the temporomandibular joint. Feel that separation. Let the jaw slide side to side and up and down. Take your right hand to your left thumb. Give it a pull and a twist. Totally okay for it to snap and pop, releasing some of the juices and energies. Work up to your little finger, reminding you each one of your fingers corresponding to a different emotion. Switch left to right, worry, and then fear, and then anger, and grief, and trying too hard. Beautiful. Take your hands and rub them together. Create some heat, and then cup your ears. Release. And just sit for a moment, feel what's going on in your body, and more importantly, your mind, probably a lot more serene. Okay, yogis, Let's move our blankets out of the way. Start to open up our legs a bit more. We know this. Heel goes back, toes are curled under, heel all the way to the back of the room. Feel that opening and softening. Press the back of the right knee up to the sky and have the crown of the head towards the top of your mat. Inhale, come through the toes of the right foot, flip over onto the foot, and see if you can find the plantar flexion of that ankle. Just like we did in our hands, right? From fingers to wrist to elbow to shoulder, same thing. Toes to ankle to knee to hip. Getting all the pieces warmed up, push the heel back. Draw the right one forward, do the same thing with the left. Push the heel back, crown forward, back of the knee. Pushes towards the sky. And roll forward onto the toes, flip over. Feel that mobilization through the joints, getting in touch with our skeleton. Go ahead and roll it back, push your heel all the way back. Knees together, inside ankle bones and toes touching for our broken toe stretch. If this hurts your toes to do it, you should back off. If it's more of a deep sensation in your calves and the bottoms of your feet, go for it. Maybe just stop here if this feels like it's already enough. If you can walk yourself up, walk yourself up. Remember, there's some other things you can do to lessen it. Putting a block underneath your knees sometimes helps, or putting something between your buttocks and your heels. See if you can allow those buns to release down towards the heels and the softening of the bottom of the feet. Drive the middle fingers towards the ground. Keep the low ribs in and the heart nice and tall. Feel that Apanavayu, the grounding and the lifting through the crown of the head. Let's continue the lift by bringing the arms up overhead. Take your hands, interlace the fingers, and push the palms to the sky. Pull the low ribs in and back, bend your upper back. See if you can find that opening for the palms, the bottoms of your feet, and the palms of your hands opening. Nice, yogis. Release your arms to your side. Again, feel the middle fingers release to the ground. One more move. Take your hands back behind you and either have your palms touching or hold a small fruit in the hand there and spin the shoulders back. See if you can take your arms back behind you. Keep the shoulders and elbows extending as we take the arms back. See if you can lean back a little bit and bring your fists towards the earth. Some core strengthening and back bend. Beautiful. Pull back to neutral. Put your hands down onto the ground. Hands in front of the shoulders so the wrists aren't stressed. Take the knees underneath your hips and your toes are curled under. Inhale, and on your exhale, start to push your buttocks back. Sit bones spread. We go deeper into our hip creases. Maybe start to let the head release towards the elbows. First round. Inhale back up. Release the feet and let your pelvis come forward. Not through the spine yet, just the pelvis. Opening the fronts of the hips. Inhale, curl the toes under. On the exhale, push back. Go back a little bit farther now. Deeper hip creases. Buns back towards heels a bit more. And this time, see if you can let your ears drop between your elbows as you open up your heart and the flesh in the armpits. Inhale back up, release the feet, exhale, release the pelvis, and then start to come through the low rib cage and then shine your heart forward. Neck is neutral, right? Not looking up. If your low back's pinchy here, slide a block under. That usually helps under your pubic bone. Hang out literally here for a moment and see if you can allow gravity to start to soften it. Yes. Inhale, let's return, curl the toes under, push buns back, stay with really long down dog arms. Dissolve this now into your Sphinx arms, elbows release down and forehead releases down. Inhale back up, release the toes, exhale. Unfurl to your hanging cobra, heart comes through. Inhale, and on your exhale, look over your right shoulder. See if you can see your heel back behind you. Inhale back through center. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale back through center, look up. Inhale back to center. Bend your elbows, yogis, and then slowly start to lower your pelvis down. Elbows stay right at your side. So you can maybe lower your pelvis all the way to the earth through the opening of your upper back. Inhale, pull back up, and on the exhale, take the knees wide, big toes touch, and push back to your wide child. Down dog arms into sphinx arms, into forehead to earth or prop. Remember, if this is pinchy in your hips, back off. Otherwise, it's a wonderful way to lubricate the hips. Shift the pelvis to the right and to the left. Feel what's happening here. You're moving your pelvis over your fixed thigh bones. Bring it back to neutral, then we'll hula dance right and left. So do a little clockwise movement. Churning is the term. Churning the hips. Coming back to center and doing the opposite. This is a clear sign. If this is all pinchy for you, perhaps some arthritic changes, could be a problem with the labrum. This is a really good test here. If it's pinchy in your hips, back off. Come on to neutral. Put your forehead down on the earth for a moment, please, and then turn your palms up for the hopeful pose. Let's hope that our world becomes more peaceful. Let's hope we keep our Sangha together here and practicing. Hope for something spectacular to drop into your lives. Turn your palms back towards the earth, slide your hands back underneath the shoulders, and go ahead and press yourself up. And come on onto all fours and right into your cat-cow you go. So thinking about your spine as you move through this, starting at one end and like a rope being lassoed out, feel like the reverberation as you start this cat-cow movement. Working all through your spine into full extension and then full flexion. Stopping at all the spots along the way. Good. Let it dissolve into what feels right for you now. Maybe some circles or more arching. Maybe pushing the middle part of the back up. See what feels like it's good for you. Good. Let's work the mid-thoracic spine, one of my favorites. Turning the hands so the fingers face in. And you'll bend your elbows to 45 degrees. So low back is arched. You can see that. And the neck stays arched. Try not to move the low back or neck. Inhale. Exhale. Don't move the elbows. Just drop your heart. So you're kind of riding on the rib cage there, releasing the heart down. And then don't straighten the arms, but push the middle back behind your heart right up to the sky. Back and forth. Dropping the heart and then puffing up the back, finding that mobilization right between the rib cage or right between the shoulder blades and rib cage there. Beautiful. Okay, let's move into Twisted Child. We haven't done Twisted Child in a while. I love this one. Set up for success. So keep the arch in the low back and the sit bones to the back of the mat. This is not your pelvis moving. This is going to be ribs up. Let's see if we can keep it there, yogis. Take your left hand forward on the mat a little bit, a little more balance. And inhale the right hand out to the right side. And on the exhale, take the hand a little higher. And it's coming from the rotation in the ribs, right? Not shifting your hips to the right. If the hips have shifted to the right, pull the pelvis back and see if you can find it just from your shoulder blade. You got it. And the shoulder muscles working. Inhale. On your exhale, thread your needle, yogi. Slide your hand through and let your right shoulder and the side of your head rest on the ground. It's resting, not pressing. Check that your feet haven't come together or apart and that the sit bones are to the back of the room. Slide the right hand through a little bit more and then turn your right palm up and down a few times. Mobilize the shoulder. Beautiful. Have the hand come to rest, right hand, the palm is up. And walk your left hand forward onto the mat. Top of your mat, reach way out. Yeah, you can feel the rib cage and latissimus muscle start to open. Walk the left hand around to the right and see if you can press the left palm into the ground and maybe look into the left armpit and we find a little start of our rotation. Don't shift the pelvis if possible. Keep that right sit bone straight back. Slide the left hand down in front of the right elbow. Press into the hand. Don't come up, but press into the hand and rotate a little bit further through. All rotating through the rib cage. Pick your head up, yogis. Be sure that you're not pressing hard and release it down. Some of you take your left hand onto your sacrum now. Press your hand into your sacrum and then notice you can rotate a bit more. Maybe feed the left hand, into the right hip crease and pull with that hand to create some rotation. Wherever the hand might be, release it back down to the floor and push yourself back up. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. Take the left hand forward. Find that, right hand forward. Feel that grounding a little bit better. Yep. And then inhale, lefty up, take it up, way up, reach up, reach up, reach up. Try not to shift your pelvis. Left hand comes up and we find the strength of those back muscles, shoulder muscles. Inhale, and on your exhale, slide through, yogis. Nice and easy. Shoulder down, head down. Check your feet. Maybe a block needs to go between those feet to hold it together. Slide the left hand through and then turn the left palm up and down, articulating through the shoulder. Come to rest, palm will be up, slide it through, and then walk your right hand forward out onto the mat. Take it way out. Maybe the idea of the sit bones releasing back and continue walking that right hand around to the left, elbow over ear. Press the palm into the ground, right palm, and sit back a little bit, and then maybe look into the right armpit and rotate. We've been practicing, some of us, for years together. Think about what's happened to our bodies and such good care that we take of ourselves. Beautiful. Slide the hand back down. Right hand will end up in front of the left elbow. Inhale, and on your exhale, push the right hand into the earth and find some free rotation. Try not to shift the pelvis if possible. Take the right hand onto your sacrum now. Press into the sacrum and find rotation. Maybe feed the right hand into the front of the left hip crease and use that for a little bit more leverage. Wherever the hand might be, release it back to the floor and press yourself back up. Nice tall position. And let's make our way onto our backs, but might as well strengthen some muscles on the way through. Have your feet on the ground. Let's start with our hands in front of the knees and open your big heart. Pause here. Notice, yogis, as you press your feet into the earth, you can hold stability better here. If you release the feet, everything kind of caves in. So keep your feet pressed for right now. Pull up the egg, the elevator, pull the belly back, and then shift your hands to behind your knees and lean back a little bit more. Maybe use a wall. Lean back up against a wall if it feels like your chest is caving in. Keep the heart nice and tall. You got it. Right foot comes up, spread your toes. Left foot comes up, spread the toes. Keep the awareness of the core, and maybe you'll take your hands off the backs of your legs. Offer up the palms. See if you can straighten your legs here. Keep your balance. Hey, come here. Hold this. Find your breath, find your balance. Good. Take your hands back behind your knees. Put your feet back down on the ground and have a big open heart. One more time, yogis. Lean back. Take the feet up. Stop at whatever feels like you're caving in. Hands come out. Maybe legs will straighten. Maybe this side. Take your hands up and down a few times. The farther back you lean, the more your core has to pull in to hold you stable. Nice. Put your feet back down, waiting for dinner. Reach out with your hands. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower down to a count of 15. Find all the strength and core stability. Try not to fall over the edge, but lower down slowly. Take your hands onto your patellar tendons and roll your low back up off the floor, provided you do not have an active disc problem or this irritates your back in any way. Let's put our sacrums down now. So what does that mean? That means as you push your sacrum down, your knees will not stay at your chest. The knees will come away from the chest. Put the sacrum down. Remember, sacrum is between the two pelvic bones. And what happens here is the low back arches and we find a beautiful opening in our low back. Inhale. On the exhale, push your knees up, but pull your hands down to the knees. It's an isometric press. It's a wonderful decompression for lumbar spine. Release that. The back will flatten towards the earth, maybe not completely. Inhale, exhale. Push knees up, pull hands down, low back comes off the ground. We find the beautiful arch, really nourishing for that low back. See if you can hold the sacrum somewhat pressed to the earth and start to circle the hips around. So you'll know your sacrum is not pressed if the whole pelvis is rolling. Not that that's the end of the world, but let's try to move it from our hips. Do clockwise and counterclockwise movements. See if we can find some beautiful hip opening. Okay, yogis, bridge time. Put your feet down. Middle fingers touch heels for most of us. Let's build some strength here, some warmth. If your middle fingers don't quite touch the heels, not a big deal. Remember, some people's arms are just not proportional to the size. Good. Turn the palms up. Inhale. On the exhale, push the bottom of your feet into the earth. The same thing. The back muscles fire up, right? Pull the imaginary egg or elevator up and then tack the belly down. Lift your hips off the ground. So the first part of the bridge here is definitely opening up the fronts of the hips so that we're not in flexion in our hips, but we're in neutral, a little bit of an extension, right? Yeah, opening the fronts of the psoas muscles. Put your left hand into your low back and see that there's an arch in your back. Don't go into any more low back arch, but let's try to have it happen from our upper back. So take your hands underneath your back, interlace your fingers, and do your shimmy shoulders, right and left, blades come underneath, and see how that's all thoracic spine. We've kind of prepped it already, just some of our beginning work. Hang out here or introduce the robot arms, elbows into the ground. Elbows are bent 90 degrees, fingertips to the sky. Push the elbows down and look down at your heart, yogis, and it's more opening of the heart, not more opening in your low back. Some of you maybe straighten your arms out and keep the shoulder blades pushed into the earth. And some of you take your arms up over your head and reach back. How about this? As you reach back with your fingers, reach forward with your knees. Lengthen out that bridge. Yeah, tighten up the cables. Beautiful. Inhale the arms up to the sky. On the exhale, bend the elbows, put them down, release the hands down. And how slowly can you start to lower that drawbridge? Come through the rib cage, bottom of the ribs, skip the low back, imprint the sacrum, beautiful. Low back stays arched, right? And then soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, legs. Let the legs rock side to side. Good. Bring the legs back to their neutral. Hands assist. Back right back into bridge. Press the feet. Pull up the egg. Tack down the belly. Lift the hips. We lift with authority, nice and slowly. This time, put your hands on the fronts of the front of the pelvis, fronts of the hips, and then lift your hips to your hands a bit more. Yeah, it's some glute work, right? So your glutes need to work to extend your hips, but not to rotate them. So if you feel like the hips are starting to turn out, you've gone too far. Take your hands underneath your back, yogis. Find your shimmy shoulders. Head off the ground for a moment. Put it down. Don't press the back of the skull. Figure out where you go next. Maybe robot arms and it opens. Maybe offering arms to the sky. And then maybe draped arms back behind you. Fingers to the back. knees to the front. Squeeze an imaginary block between the thighs and feel the strength in this bridge. If we were to put a sandbag or a small dog on your pelvis right now, would it buckle? Hopefully not. Come on through this, arms up, elbows down, hands down. Slowly we release down to the ground. Skip the low back, imprint the sacrum. Soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana legs. Beauteous. Okay, piriformis stretch. Hands to the outsides of your legs. Move your legs back together and then hip distance apart. Take the right leg over the left. Outside ankle bone is outside the knee for safety of your ankle. You won't sprain the ankle. And then pull the toes towards the right knee and it keeps your knee safe. Take the right hand onto the thigh and give it a bit of a press. We know this, yogis. If we press too hard, we're going to skew the pelvis. Go into your skeleton again. Don't move the pelvis. Just open the hip. Let's see if we can go a little deeper with this. Inhale. Exhale. Push the hand to the knee and the knee to the hand. We just did this in a different position. Then release and see if you can open the hip a little bit more. Contract, relax, often yield some beautiful range. Try it again. Inhale. Exhale. Push the knee to the hand and the hand to the knee. The deep six muscles in your bun will fire. Release and soften it. Nice. Let's go even deeper now. Some of us take the right hand through the hole in the leg, grab the left hand behind the left knee, let the left knee be soft, and go ahead and roll your low back off the floor again. If this is irritating for your back, certainly don't do it. And many of you asked me recently, should we never flex our low backs? The answer is no, you should definitely flex it, but only under certain circumstances. This is controlled. Okay, yogis, try it now. Put your sacrum back down. Look what happens. Sacrum goes down, but the low back is in an arch now, and it's all in the hip. Straighten the left leg. See if you can find your first hamstring flag here, right? Pull the toes to the face and push your heel right out your roof. You're balanced on your sacrum. Take your hands lower now, maybe right up to the groin. And rather than pulling with the hands, push the back of the left thigh into the hands. Your hamstring opens and your low back releases. If this feels stable enough for you, take your hands away. You can put them on your heart or onto the ground. Pause here for a moment. Some good strengthening of our left quad and core and a big hammy stretch. If you're holding the back of your leg, release. Everybody put your heel down. We're going to do single leg bridge now. We've prepped. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot presses. Egg comes up. Belly button comes down. And go ahead and lift the pelvis. Put your hands underneath on your butt cheeks. Left cheek is probably really fired up because you're pushing your foot down. Right one, not so much. So pinch the imaginary marble between the cheeks and fire righty up a little bit more and look at how your pelvis levels off. Slowly release that all down to the ground. Skip the low back, imprint the sacrum. My favorite part now, roll over onto the left side. Lots of rights and lefts now. Right foot's going to be on the ground. See if you can grab your lower shin with your left hand. Your head can be up for a moment now. Eventually, it needs to be resting on the ground or the prop, so plan accordingly. Underneath leg, yogis, crawl it to the back of the mat, right? So crawl that back. We open up the front of the left hip flexor. Internally rotate underneath leg. Your foot will come to the sky and grab onto your shin, your foot, your toes. Maybe use a strap. And then see if you can maybe roll yourself onto your back. Shoulder blades, part of your back, not your low back. And then tighten the whole ship up. So pull with the right hand and whoop, left quad stretches. Pull with the left hand and your hip opens a bit more. Maybe push the left elbow into the earth and roll your heart around. Look where we are. Pretzels. Let the right leg articulate the hip. That screen door, finding some movement in there. So beautiful, yogis. Good. Come to rest. Find a breath or two here. I know that my body has changed so much in these 8 months of so much more actual practice rather than just teaching and floating around the room. I hope you feel the same benefits. So beautiful. Release the underneath leg, roll back onto your back. Your leg is crossed. And let's do the other side, yogis. Uncross righty and cross lefty upright. So left leg will cross over the right. Ankle bone is outside the knee. The toes are pulled towards the left knee. And take your left hand onto the thigh and push the hip open. Don't push so hard that you skew your pelvis. Inhale. On the exhale, push the left knee towards the left hand. It's isometric, meaning no movement. Left butt cheek fires up. Then we release and push a little bit more and probably have a little bit additional range. Continue one more time. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the foot or the hand to the knee and the knee to the hand. You got it. Release and open. Let's slide through now. Left hand through the hole in the legs. Grab the right hand behind the right knee. Right leg is soft to begin with. Provided there is no low back discomfort, roll your low back off the ground for a moment. Feel what that is. And then put the sacrum down so the leg, the hip won't be as flexed, but it's all in your hip now. Beautiful. See if you can feel that opening, the piriformis and deep six in your left butt cheek. Send up the right leg. The flag comes up. Sacrum stays down and imprinted, and the toes pull towards the face. Push the heel way up towards the sky. Beautiful. Slide the hands down the thigh now. They'll be to the top of the thigh by the groin. Rather than pulling, we know push the back of the right hamstring flesh into the hands and soften. Your hip and low back love this. If you feel stable with it, take the hands away or just hold on. Be sure the left knee stays as open as possible. Sole right foot to the sky, balanced on our sacrums. We'll dissolve into a bridge. If you're holding, release. Put your heel down on the ground. Inhale. On the exhale, sole the right foot presses the earth. Egg comes up, belly tacks down, and hips come up. Take your hands underneath your butt cheeks. Feel the right cheek all fired up. Follow it with lefty. Yeah, keep the carpenter's level across the top of the pelvis. No buckling from sandbags or small animals as they rest on your pelvis. Beautiful, yogis. Release it down to the earth. Slowly down we go. Skip the low back. Imprint the sacrum. Yumminess onto our side. Left foot down on the ground. Right hand will hold your shin, left shin. Crawl the underneath leg back to the back of the mat. Internally rotate that right hip. The foot will come up, grab onto what's grabbable. Maybe use a strapola if you need it. And then roll yourself onto your back. You know what I mean by back? It's the upper back. You can see my low back is perpendicular to the earth here. You can do a little push to the right elbow into the ground and find more rotation. Tighten it up a little bit, pulling with both hands, and then start your hip movement. Beautiful. Bring the hip to rest. Pause for just another breath here, trying to open and find the yumminess. Beautiful. Release, roll back onto your back, left leg crossed. One more, push with the left hand, feeling the openness and the work in our hips. Okay, yogurts, let's go ahead and grab our straps and do some hammy work. Unravel the strap. I prefer having one strap in each hand. Start on your right leg. It's on the bottom of your foot by the metatarsals and straighten out your right knee. So really important here, sacrum imprints. Notice as you push your sacrum down, you have more tug on your hamstring. So this is not just pulling your leg up and moving your back into flexion. Keep the sacrum imprinted. Take the strap, yogis, now. Keep the ankle stable and run the strap from the ball of your foot down to your heel and back up again a few times. Reflexology, warmth. We're all in different places. I just know that here it's 30 degrees and it's cold, bringing some warmth into the system. Nice. Come to rest with the strap at the ball of the foot. Give a pull down with the strap and a push up with the foot, and your right quad will contract. Gives it a little bit more, movement to your hamstring. When the right quad contracts, the hammy gets the message, chill. Straighten out your left leg now, please slide it down the mat. Notice as the left leg slides down, the right leg might need to release a little bit. So it's not going to be up so high. Keep the sacrum imprinted and it's all very safe. Take a breath or two here. And it's not just mindlessness, we know that. With every exhalation, really go into where you're feeling some of the resistance. It always works. If you send the awareness, you can affect the change. Attention, intention. Beautiful. Let's hold the leg where it is here in hip movement and get ready to let it out to the right side. Strap in the right hand, start to lower the right leg out to the right. Don't let the foot drop to the bottom of your mat. Take it straight out. Look at the toes of the right foot. They're pointed to the top of your mat and the inside ankle bone rolls to the sky. That's external rotation. Maybe have the strap in both hands and steer your ship into port here. Keeping the sacrum down and imprinted, it's all in the hips. The adductors and hamstrings, mostly hamstrings on that right side. Let's pause for a moment here and really investigate where the hold might be. Inhale it back up to straight leg raised position. Switch the strap to the left hand and then just let the leg come across town 45 degrees. We're not rolling yet. Take your right hand, thumb into the hip crease and push it down. So we have awareness of what we're doing in our hip here. Push it down, look what happens. Your pelvis levels and probably have more stretch of this outside hamstring here. Biceps femoris. Beautiful, yogis. Pause for a moment here. Push the heel and ball the foot to the opposite diagonal of the room. We were just in a bit of rotation. Let's go back into it, except our legs are in a different place now. Take the right leg back up, straight leg raise it. Bend the left knee, inhale. And on the exhale, roll over onto your left side. We were just here in different leg position. Use the strap to stretch the right hamstrings. Good. So as you pull it, you'll feel more hammy stretch. Same thing we just did with our underneath leg now. Crawl it to the back of the mat. Internally rotate, grab onto the ankle, and then repeat what we just did. Roll back onto your back, except we got a big old hamstring stretch now. Beautiful. Maybe use the left elbow, press it down, lift the heart, and keep yourself rotating. Maybe look over the right shoulder. If you're holding your underneath leg, release it. Roll luxuriatingly onto your back. Left leg straight, right leg up in the air. Hands, reins of the horse again, one on each side, elbows up or elbows down. And I want you to do a whole bunch of breaths here. Your concentration is sacrum imprinted. The length of those hamstrings. We're so nice to our hamstrings now, they respond. Good, bend your right knee slightly, bend your left, slide it up. You can either just, let's do it. Take the strap off and put it down to your left side, straighten out both legs. I like taking a break between them so you can feel the difference between right and left. And if you listen closely, lefty's saying, get to it, making you feel like righty. Let's do it. Bend the knees. Take the strap around the bottom of the left foot. Sole left foot up to the sky. Find your hip angle. Keep the sacrum imprinted and take the strap, towel off the bottom of the foot, bring some warmth to your system, some awareness to those acupressure points. Good. Have it come to rest. Now strap on the ball of the foot and go ahead and pull down. Notice as you pull down and push the foot up, left quad contracts and your hamstring can soften. Keep your sacrum imprinted, the awareness of that sacrum staying imprinted as you straighten your right leg, and it all goes to your hamstring and doesn't load your back. Hang out here for a moment. Where's the resistance? We'll prepare for opening to the left. Strap in the left hand, inhale. And on the exhale, let the left leg out to the left side. Don't let it drop to the bottom of your mat. Look at the toes of the left foot. They roll to the top of your mat and inside an ankle bone to the sky. You might steer the ship with both hands into its slip. Sacrum stays down. Our pelvis is level, and the help of the strap and our hands to open up some of the tightness here. Beautiful. Pause here for a moment or two. Yeah, luxuriate in this specificity here. Beautiful. Inhale the left leg back up to straight leg raise and switch the strap to the right hand as the leg comes cross down, 45 degrees. Left hand into the top of the hip crease, left side. Give it a push down, level off the pelvis, and look what happens. Your whole hamstring gets the message to soften. This is the third hamstring on the outside, the one that's on the outside and often forgotten. Pausing for a moment here. Our body's already been prepped for all this next rotation. Inhale the leg back up. Exhale, bend the knee and lift, bridge, and over onto your right side. Use the strap in the left hand to stretch that hammy up. Underneath leg crawls to the back of the mat. Internally rotate the hip, grab the shin, ankle, toes, use a strap maybe. See if you can affix the heel to the buttock and roll over onto your rib cage. Tighten up your ship now. Use the right hand. Stretch left, right quad, and stretch it up. Beautiful. If you're holding that underneath leg, release it. Roll back onto your back. Find your straight leg raise left to the sky, right to the earth. Use the strap to find your final hammy stretch. Awareness of that sacrum imprinted sends it right into your hamstrings. Bend your right knee, bend your left knee, take the strap off. Take both legs out nice and long. Roll to your right side, come to sit, right into sitting pretty. Got quite the yoga dog here today. Hello, boy. Come into sitting pretty. So most of you very aware of this one and know it's one of my very favorites and keep adding new pieces to it. So as you sit on the ground here, maybe you sit on the edge of your blanket again to give your pelvis a little bit of height. Most of you, if you're restricted, will find that the left hip, come here, is up. If the left hip is up, slide a blanket underneath the right butt cheek to get your pelvis to be as level as possible. We match too today, don't we? Left foot can be straight back or out, depending on your flexibility. Okay, take your hands back behind you. Open your big heart. Make this all from the left hip. Roll the left hip forward. Open up the front of the pelvis. We've prepped it, right? And on the way back, sit bone releases down, either internally spiraling with your L hand Or next round, pushing forward, squashing middle finger left hand, trying to find those distinct movements. Some of us quite stiff in the separate pieces, so maybe it just feels like the whole thing is moving. That's the idea here, that we're trying to come into the separate movements. Beautiful. Come to rest. Let's do a little twist. Take your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you, big open heart. Inhale. Exhale, spiral in from the bottom of the rib cage, through the chest, through the heart, into the neck, and then turn the head. Low hovering arms bring us around. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind, big open heart. You can't twist if you're flexed. Inhale. Exhale, spiral it around, right through heart, neck, head. Inhale back to center. Let's move into a seated twist now with the legs crossed. So how can you get your left leg over your right leg? Maybe you need to use your hand. Maybe you take your hands behind you. Maybe you put your thumbs into your armpits and switch it around. See what feels best for you, accessible for you. Big toe knuckle, left foot on the ground. Take your fists to the earth, lift and put it down. Perhaps you're sitting on your blanket again to give you that extra added few inches. Hands on the knee, big open heart. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, just turn the rib cage to the right. Spiral through like we just did with different leg position, and look over the right hand. Release the arms and use the arms to help to twist. Inhale it all back to center. Exhale left. Release the arms and twist. Inhale back to center. Use the hands as much as you need to, as little as you have to. Take that left leg and put it back where we found it. This round, have the toes out. Take your hands back behind you. Right leg, take it up and down. Good. Left leg, up and down. So notice here, yogis, not a lot of forward and back movement, right? This torso and spine is stable as much as possible. We're trying to get that hip to articulate. Beautiful. Let's do the mind sweep now. Pull up your bellies, pull up your eggs, pull in your belly. Inhale. Exhale and sweep the left leg around. Fan the toes as they come around and see if you can fit the back of the left knee onto the right knee while your heart still stays forward. Not so much rotation through the ribs. Nice, yogis. Bring it back in and fix it into place. Use the hand if you need to. We'll do 3 of these. Mind sweep around. This is all so functional. Think about getting up from the floor. You're going to do a lot of these movements. So trying to find the functionality in much of this. Push the foot to the thigh to the foot, and feel the bondos. Feel the whole energy. Release the foot to the thigh and feel it kind of caves in, right? Push foot to thigh, thigh to foot, and feel the energetics as we lift. Let's take our thumbs into our armpits today and really pull the whole torso up off of that pelvis. Beautiful. Turn the ribs now to the right, and let's lay our beasties down. Reach out with the hands. The right arm will be farther out. Left arm, left elbow stays on the right knee. Press those sphinx arms into the ground. Lengthen the spine. The left elbow pushes into the right knee. We find a little side bend as well. And then take lefty forward so both arms are in the sphinx arm position. Push the foot to the thigh, thigh to the foot again. Engage all that. And then push the hands and elbows into the ground and lengthen out. So our body will release to the ground not by flexing and fetalizing, but instead keeping it really long, bend the elbows and just lower it straight down into your resting pigeon piece. Beautiful. Straighten out your left leg. Push it down the mat. So you can see how this approaches pigeon if we were to roll over onto our bellies, right? Push that left foot back, open up your hip flexor, and then see if you can rotate your heart towards the ground a little bit more. If it's real pinchy in your hip, take your right knee forward and that will de-pinch it a bit. Good. Gather your limbs back in. Come back to your tall position. We started off with this at the beginning of practice. Bend your right elbow. Different leg position, but same idea here. Hand presses down, lengthen now. There is a method to this madness. Thumb into the armpit and lengthen. Rotate the heart. Inhale the left hand up. Exhale, take it over. Oh my goodness, so long now, right? So open. We switch to the other side now through our Seramonte car dealer arms. Use your core as much as you can, as little push off of the right hand as you switch to the other side. Elbow will dock into your hip, to your leg, to the ground, to a prop. Try not to be rolled forward again, but open, reaching. Switch back and reach. Switch back and open. Hand back to neutral. Switch your legs to the other side. Use your hands as much as you need to, as little as you have to. See if you can find the other side. Push your foot to your thigh to your foot. Find the bondicization here. Hands come back. Roll your hip up and down. Up and down. Using whatever cues work for you. Maybe the internal rotation, maybe bun to middle finger. Beautiful. Little rotation now. Right hand, left leg, left hand behind. Inhale. Exhale, turn the rib cage. And find the rotation. Inhale back through, low hovering arms, left hand, right knee, right hand behind, big open heart. And turn the ribs, look over. Take it back. How are we going to get the right leg on the other side of the left? See if you can do it with as little help as possible. Press the fist to the ground, lift. Down you go, hand to the knee. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, open twist, left. Release the arms and twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, close twist. Release. Use the arms to help to twist. Back to center. Beautiful. Return your limb where you found it. This time the foot stays out. Left leg comes up and down, all from the hip if possible. Same thing, right leg now, up. Mind sweep, lean back. Inhale, exhale, sweep around. Find the length of those hamstrings we just worked, the strength of your quads, the spread of the toes, and as little movement in your torso and spine as possible. 2 more, please. Straighten it out. Find your home base again. Nice work. Rib cage turns. Go ahead and put yourself down nice and easy. Stagger the arms. Right elbow on the left knee. Push the hands and elbows into the ground. Lengthen first. A little more push to the right elbow to find a side bend. Bring the right hand up to meet the left for your Sphinx arms. Press them into the ground and lengthen. Pillow arms. Rest your forehead down. Straighten out your right leg. Find the length to that leg and opening of the hip flexors. Maybe you can take the right leg behind you a bit and really feel the work you've done in the articulation of these hips. Gather ye limbs, come back, sit up. Take the left hand out, bend the elbow. Find that platform, open the heart, lengthen. Inhale the arm up and over. Lengthen, find that long side body line. Inhale up, exhale, switch. Inhale up, exhale, switch. Inhale up, exhale, switch. Come on back to center. Beautiful. Let's make our way down onto our backs. Crazy legs, knees together, feet apart. Let the right knee slide down the inside of the left. And then reverse. Let the legs keep moving, yogis, as we start to unwind, literally and figuratively. Take the thumbs into the elbow creases and let the arms drape up over the crown of the head so you're framing your ears with your elbows. Just gives a more of a stretch to that lat muscle with the arms up over the head. Keep the legs moving and let's move the arms on the ground. Slide them to the right as the legs go to the left. They all meet back in the center, legs to the right, arms to the left. It's a side bending of your thoracic spine. Keep the legs moving. Let's do the rotation now. Arms come up above the chin, still bent elbows. Legs one way, arms the opposite way. Yeah. Opened up from all that rotation. Maybe you can feel the triceps touching the ground. Add the head to it now. Head will follow knees, arms in the opposite way. Head and knees, one way, arms opposite. And the eyeballs, whether the eyes are open or closed, eyeballs, elbows, head, knees. If ever you're feeling a bit anxious or stressed, try this. It's amazing what it does for our system. Beautiful, yogis. Bring it all back to center now. Straighten out your legs. Take your arms up over your head. Reach to the top of your mat. Lay it out. All that movement of our fluids and softening and warming. Taking care of our bodies, our minds. Attention, intention. Bring your arms back to your sides. Grab your mat with your fists. Inhale, and on your exhale, push your hands towards your feet. Your body will slink up the mat an inch or so. Ready for Shavasana. If you're chilly at all, please cover yourself with a blanket. If you have an eye bag handy, put it over your eyes or close your eyes. Touch the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind your teeth. It's a still calming point. It's another ticket into our relaxation. Let the tongue release to the bottom of the mouth now. Feel the lips parting slightly. No tongue and no teeth. No gripping, no grinding. It's all softened up. Shavasana. Productive rest. Lucid sleep. Reboot. Let yourself drift off on your magic carpet or your flotation device. Take a few minutes today to let yourself drift out, supported by myself and the community, safe. Let yourself go out and wander for a bit. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Isn't that really what it's all about? We've taken such good care of each other. Our journey will continue. Find the marble on the back of your skull and let your head rock so slowly side to side. Begin to wake the system. Everything's okay now. We found some peace and quiet. We've found a balance in our nervous system. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, bend your knees, slide your heels towards your buttocks. Glue the knees and ankles together and roll onto your right side. We transition onto that right side away from our hearts. And often as we transition onto the side, thoughts of generosity, of kindness, of altruism and seva, or selfless service, all that comes through our brains. Left in a tranquil and peaceful way, ready to take it on again. Inhale, please, and on your exhale, slowly draw yourself back up to a seated place. Let's connect in, fingertips to the earth, energetic finger prongs, lifting the crown of the head towards the sky. See if you can feel yourself sitting on this blue-green planet, teeny tiny, microscopic, and yet so important to the whole. Draw the energy up from the earth to your heart center. The thumbs will touch the heart and the heart will rise. We'll pause here, reminding ourselves to be so grateful for all we have. Inhale. On your exhale, let your hands float forward. Fingertips touch, fingernails touch, hands open like a lotus. Feel the energy from all of us. Bring it into your hearts. Backs of the hands roll, thumbs to heart. Thumbs to the third eye. Still contemplation. Point all seeing eye. It's an ESP eye. It's our clarity spot. Let's bow to this amazing Sangha, this group that we have formed. Namaste. Okay, there is no need to say goodbye to any of you guys. I've been teaching on YogaWorks platforms and a bunch of different things. It all changes over on Tuesday to that Vivaya website. Check it out. There's a 14-day free trial. I hope that you'll all join me next Sunday, just a different platform, a different home, but the same old, same old. Trying to make some good changes here to my audio and my lighting and just bringing it up another grade. So thank you so much for joining me.
I think that Ike can hear me. I was hoping he would pop in for a moment to show his face because this is the last time he's going to be helping me on Zoom. And if he can